December 9th, 2025, Falls Township Zoning Hearing Board. If you can, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, before we get started with our agenda items, make some introductions. To my right is the Zoning Hearing Board Solicitor Keith Billymeyer. Stenographer tonight is Karen Browndorf. On Zoom from the Township, we have Ed Neubauer and Matt Dekita. Before we get started with the agenda, if anyone's here for Lakeview Terrace, petition number 4, they are asking for a continuance request. Mr. Billymeyer, if you have anything.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we received a letter from Matthew McHugh, who represents the applicant, Lakeview Terrace, 2023 LLC. They sent a letter requesting a continuance to the January 13th, 2026 hearing. So that matter continuance request would need a vote.
I would need a motion on that.
So moved.
Motion by Aaron. Do I have a second?
A second.
Second by Chris. Chris, can you call the board? Or Nastasia, I'm sorry.
Aaron,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
and I'm a yes.
Mr. Chairman, if we could just mark their correspondence as A1, we'll make mark for part of the record. Thanks.
All right, so starting petition number 1, Cathy Stover, 31 White Spruce Lane, Levittown, PA, 19054, tax map parcel 13025-082, zoned NCR, requesting dimensional variances to construct an addition which encroaches into the side yard setback and is over the maximum impervious surface coverage from section 209-20 and table 1.
Hey, good evening. I'm Chris Levins from CLC Contractors. Chris Levins, Levins, from CLC Contractors. All we're trying to do is add 3 feet to the side of the
If you
house.
can, yeah.
Hang on.
1 second, Chris. If you can, just please raise your hand and be sworn in.
Oh, sure.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Can you speak? That mic's not picking you up too well, so if you could speak right into it.
Right into it.
Mr. Chairman, if we can mark some exhibits, we'll mark the application for zoning ordinance appeal as ZHB1 along with the accompanying statement. 2 will be proof that the property was posted. 3 are the proposed site plans submitted with the application. 4 is the applicant and neighbor notification letter sent from Falls Township dated November 25th, 2025. 5 will be proof of publication in the Bucks County Courier Times showing this matter was published November 25th and then again December 2nd, 2025. That is all the board exhibits. I'm satisfied the appropriate notice have been satisfied. This matter can proceed.
You may begin, sir.
Perfect. We're looking to construct an addition on the side, making the garage area larger, converting it to a bedroom with a closet. So right now we have an existing side yard setback of 8 feet in the front, 11 feet in the back. We're looking to make it 5 feet in the front and 8 feet in the back, which puts our impervious over by just about 4%.
Okay. Any questions from the board?
Just a quick question, looking at the picture of the front of your property. Is the addition going to be completely behind where that wooden fence is?
Yeah, it'll be on the left side of the house where the garage is now.
Yep, okay.
Yep, we're extending 3 feet to the left.
And then I assume it does, but does that fence continue and
To the back.
border with your neighbor?
Correct.
Yep, okay. And it looks like you'll still have between 5 to 9 feet
Correct.
until that fence. Great, thank you.
Thanks, Aaron. Any other questions from the board?
I have one on impervious surface. How much impervious surface are you at now?
I'm not sure the exact calculation. I know it puts us over about 4% of the ordinance.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Bill. Anything from the township? Any public comment? Okay, that being said, I would need a motion. for or against this project?
I'll go ahead. I'll move that the application of Cathy Stover requesting dimensional variances, I got the right one, right? Yes. Thank you. Requesting dimensional variances from section 209-20 and table 1 of the Falls Township zoning ordinance be granted to construct an addition which encroaches into the side yard setback and is over the maximum impervious surface coverage at the property located at 31 White Spruce Lane, Levittown, PA 19054, as depicted on the plans and in accordance with the testimony presented to the zoning hearing board.
Motion by Aaron. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Chris. Nastasia, you call the board?
Will? Bill?
Yes,
Aaron?
that's good.
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
And I'm a yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Moving on to petition number 2, Shari Booker, 2 Wildrose Lane, Levittown, PA 19054, tax map parcel 13025142, zoned NCR, requesting a use variance to allow group homes sheltering 8 to 10 children ages 9 to 18 from section 209-20B. Doesn't look like we have an applicant here. Is anyone here for that petition?
Just so the zoning hearing board is aware, Greg Heleniak on behalf of the Falls Township Solicitor's Office, we were authorized to appear this evening in opposition to this application. We did communicate with the applicant earlier today, but did not get an affirmative statement from them that they were continuing, so we would just like to note our opposition on the record, but since there is no applicant present this evening, we would ask that the application be dismissed for lack of attendance.
Mr. Chairman, it's 10 after 7. There is no time extension, but I think it might be worth giving him an extra 5 minutes if we can hang out. Maybe we skip this application and go to the next one, and we can then circle back.
That works.
Just in case there's traffic issue or something. That's probably the most prudent way to handle it.
Okay. So moving along to petition number 3, Calvary Full Gospel. Are you Shari Booker? How you doing? That's okay. Want to go back to that?
You're here for this application too, right?
All right, petition number 3, Calvary Full Gospel Church, 676 Lincoln Highway, Fairless Hills, PA, 19030, tax map parcel 13017-238, zoned IN, requesting the following dimensional variances from section 209-45F6C 3A to allow the proposed message signs to exceed 30% of the total area of signs permitted, section 209-4506A to allow 3 freestanding signs which exceed the allowable 2 freestanding signs, and section 209-45G6C1 to allow a setback distance of the freestanding signs to the right-of-way, which is less than 5 foot. How you doing, sir?
Yes, sir.
If you can, just please raise your hand and be sworn in.
Yeah, my name is David Farina. I'm the pastor at Calvary Full Gospel Church.
Could you spell your last name, please?
F as in Frank, A-R-I-N-A.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, if we can mark the application for zoning ordinance appeal as the HB1, along with the accompanying statement. 2 will be a permit denial letter sent from Falls Township dated October 21st, sent to the applicant. 3 is a site plan. 4 will be proof that the property was posted as required. 5 is proof of the neighbor notification letters sent from Calvary Full Gospel Church dated November 5th. 6 is notification to the applicant dated November 25th, 2025, sent from Falls Township. 7 will be proof of publication, the Bucks County Courier Times, showing this matter was published November 25th, and then again December 2nd, 2025. I'm satisfied the appropriate notice have been satisfied, and this matter can proceed.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair. I would just want to note for the record that the township is asserting its party status for this matter as well under 9083 of the MPC.
Thank you.
Thank you. We wanted to appear tonight in information to be able to provide for the board in regards to 3 signs that currently are existing on our property. I do have signs and pictures of the existing signs, each of them, one representing on Route 1, another on Trenton Road, and the other on Tyburn Road. Each one of these signs, I have pictures of. I'd be happy to leave and to show. They are they're a little over 20 plus years old and in disrepair, needing to be updated and needing to be not only made current, but the conditions of the signs over time, weather and so forth, have taken their toll. So in the world of trying to make what we think is a very important move in order to be able to make our church look good, as well as the sign and the property. As you drive into Falls Township, one of the first things that you see is a rather significant church on the corner of Route 1 and Tyburn Road. And these signs being in disrepair, we wanted to be able to make them presentable and also be able to extend the message to the community of the things that we do. We understand that there is some concerns, and so therefore we're here to provide some clarity and information. I do have pictures and a drawing and a rendering, two to be exact. One of the concerns is that the setbacks were not in accordance. I believe there's a 5-foot rule or ordinance, and we provided a schematic, but neglected to actually put the footage in on all 3 cases. One is 36 feet off the offset, the other one is 52 feet off the offset, and the other one is 42 feet. So we're nowhere near the 5-foot rule that, or the 5-foot ordinance that is in position. So we meet that. The other question is that there was a possibility, or there was an understanding of only 2 signs on on properties, because we are on a major intersection and there are 3 signs already in existence. We're just looking to replace the existing signs. And if you will allow me to be able to show you the pictures, you will see that these signs are already in a very well landscaped and curbed structure. So we are just looking to replace what we have. In the world of new signs, we know that new signs are now digital, and one of the areas of concern was the digital aspect, being on a busy intersection. And there's an ordinance. First, let me tell you that the existing signs are 8 feet by 6 feet. The sign that we are proposing is 8 feet by 5 feet, so it's physically smaller than the sign that is currently there. And one of the issues were around the possibility, or the concern of the fact that they would be digital. What I want to share with you is that, first of all, the signs are completely automated, and they are able to be turned on and off, so that we have controllability as to the timing, as to when they would be on, when they would be off, and that would be something that we understand we should probably discuss, as well as the messaging area. The messaging area, we're told that the proposed signs that we have, the existing digital portion of the sign, we're told, is to fall in at 30% of the total signs permitted. So what our signs basically are saying on the 3 signs is that the new sign proposal is 38%, which is, in fact, it meets the requirements for a single sign, but when you add the aggregate of all 3 signs, it goes over by 8%. So we see this as nothing significant, but the fact that they're going to be new, they're going to be controllable, and the messaging will be able to be timed in regards to the ons and the offs, to be able to cooperate if there's any concern in regards to that. The only other thing that I wanted to mention in regards to these is that because these are already existing, it was our hope that that this would be something that would be considered as more of a formality. We're talking about nothing new. We're not talking about anything in the way of larger. We're talking about smaller, and we're also talking about the controllability of them to be able to help in any concerns in terms of we wouldn't want to be having these signs being active at 1 or 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. That's certainly not in our best interest and not in the interest of the community as well. So we wanted to present this information, and we were told that we might have an opportunity for some discussion if there needed to be any concern that something may be able to be discussed and agreed upon.
Sir, do you have copies for the zoning hearing board members of the pictures?
I'm sorry, can
Do you have copies of the pictures for the zoning hearing board
I
members?
can hand you these copies, yes. I have pictures of all of the signs. I believe I have copies of all. I can give them to you, as well as I can give you an update of the schematic with the actual footage offsets that well exceed the 5 feet.
Perfect.
5 feet. So there's the schematic showing the footage away from, here's Route 1, here's Trenton Road. There are 3 signs. Okay. And then here are the existing signs on all 3.
Thank you. I'm gonna mark these.
Mr. Chairman, if we can just mark the updated plan as A1, and I'll write that on this sheet. The pictures of the signs, I'll mark collectively as A2.
Would it be helpful if the sign company provided us an actual picture of the proposed 8x5 new sign, which of that actual 8x5, the digital portion is only, it's 38%. It's, if I can do it this way, this is a fixed portion of the sign. The only changeable digital portion is the lower half.
We'll mark this picture as A3.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, is that all you have, sir?
That's what I needed to present, and if there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer, and if not, we can wait to hear for the next step.
Matt, question for you. Did you review the setback? Do they still need the variance for that?
No, they don't. When the plan was submitted, it did not have the setback on there, so I just made the note, and that it should be at least 5 feet. They're well over that. So.
Thank you. Any questions from the board at the time?
So that was.
I just have one.
Go ahead, Bill.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Bill.
One of the first requirements is, when you're applying for a variance, is the hardship letter. I don't know what your hardship is. I don't see that in this statement you wrote.
A hardship letter? I'm not sure that I'm aware of that being part of the response. If anything, the fact that if we don't have signs that are functional, we're certainly not able to communicate the message, but I'm not quite certain what the gentleman is asking for in terms of what hardship we would have. We have signs that are in disrepair. They need to be updated. They need to be new. We've repaired them over the years. It's close to 25 years, but we've repaired them over the years. And this is just simply us looking to do all that we can in order to make our presentation both satisfactory as well as one of quality with new technology.
I understand that part. I mean, you did respond back with a hardship letter, but there's no hardship stated in this letter. That's all I have.
So I guess I'll ask the same question maybe a different way. So one of the variances you're asking for is that, the township allows 2 signs, you're asking for 3 signs. So to Bill's point, can you say something about why you require 3 signs?
Well, sure. We are on a corner of 3 intersections. If you're familiar with our property, you know exactly where we are. There are already 3 existing signs
Yeah.
that are in position and in permanent place. The fact that all 3 represent every corner, and wherever traffic would drive by, they would be able to receive and see the message communicated. I believe that's the reason why we were probably granted 20 plus some odd years ago. So now, to be very transparent and very honest, we're just simply looking to replace what's already there. In the fact that it's already been approved, and the fact that it's been in existence for so long, we see it as a continuation of the existing policy as it stands.
Yep.
I
Understood.
hope that answers your
Understood.
question.
Understood. It does. So a couple questions. So thank you for providing the pictures. That helps. So these are full-color LEDs?
They
Not
are,
just single color?
they're capable of full-color LEDs, but please know that there is a static portion, the top portion.
I saw.
It's the lower portion in which
That is
that
gonna
are
change.
LED.
Yep.
So it's not like we are lighting up the corner for the township and for traffic benefit purposes or disadvantage purposes.
Right. So when we've had these before, the question comes up both from us and from concerned residents about safety, traffic safety. Is this going to be something that's going to be flashing and a visual distraction? And I know there are some, you mentioned that it is controllable, and there's
Yes.
some guidance, I think, from the township. Yes, Matt, about what the rate at which the
ordinance-
message updates and.
Yeah, the ordinance prescribes the method of transition, the brightness, and whether or not, or the duration of the signs. So all of that's prescribed in the ordinance, and we can review that,
Yeah.
And
ready
so
to issue
you
permits.
already know about that, and you're going to follow those?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Look, this church has been here for 50 years. We're looking to be good community members, as we have been all these
We
years.
asked the same questions of.
I understand.
Of the senior center and the thrift store.
Yes, sir.
And everyone else who came with a digital sign.
Yes,
So
sir.
it's just a.
Yeah.
We just want to make sure that
And-
you're aware that
Right.
that's, because that's what we're looking out for is the.
One of the things when we
community
sat
safety.
with this Stewart, I'm sorry. One of the things that we were told when the presentation was given to us by Stewart Sign Company, who has done numerous signs already around the township, is that this is very controllable, very programmable, and can do whatever we wish it to do because of the technology that is afforded in the current marketplace. So whatever the guidelines are, we will obviously work in accordance.
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all the questions I had. Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Anything from the township? Greg, do you want to?
I have no questions for the applicant at this time, but as the applicant indicated, we had some conversations prior to the hearing beginning, and there's an opportunity to satisfy some of the township's concerns about the application if we allow those conversations to continue. So we would ask that the zoning hearing board take this matter under advisement and continue it to the January hearing date to allow us to potentially offer some conditions of approval to attach. If the board were to choose to grant approval of this application, that may satisfy the township's concerns.
Okay. You understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Anything else to present?
I believe that covers it.
Okay. So then I would need a motion to continue to the January.
Public comment.
Any public comment at this time?
Yes, I would like to make a comment. Hello, Pastor.
How are you?
I know you don't remember me, but I sent my children to your school.
Okay.
As well as I participated in some of your events there.
Thank you.
When I first came into this township,
Hang on, Mr. Bell, we
You have
have
to-
a
You have to tell
procedure
me
here
your
that you need
name,
to follow.
please.
what do you want?
Your name, please?
Wayne Bell.
Could you spell your last name, please?
Bell.
Thank you.
I think you should put another sign there. You only have 3. When I first came to this township, that was the church that I saw. And yes, all 4 of my children went to your church as well as the daycare center there. I don't know anything about a hardship letter or anything, but whatever this guy asked for as a pastor, he should get. He's been participating in the township for 50 years. Extra sign. You need an extra sign. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Bell. So with that being said, any more public comment? All right, so I would need a motion to continue to the January meeting.
So moved.
I'll make that motion. Also moved.
Motion by Aaron, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Bill. Nastasia, you can call the board.
Bill,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
and I'm a yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Pastor. Petition number 2, Shari Booker, 2 Wildrose Lane, Levittown, PA, 19054, tax map parcel 13025-142, zoned NCR, requesting a use variance to allow a group home serving 8 to 10 children, or 8 to 12 children, ages 9 to 18 from section 209-20B. How you doing? If you can, please just raise your hand so you can be sworn in.
Could you state your full name, please, and spell your last?
Shari Booker Holly, Bookerholly.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, if we can mark the application as zoning, the application for zoning ordinance appeal as ZHB 1. 2 will be a response to the letter of intent sent from Falls Township to the applicant dated November 6, 2025. 3 is a hardship statement letter sent from the applicant dated November 18, 2025. Bear with me. Lost my page. 4 will be the Holy Home Care LLC Program Description Handbook submitted by the applicant. Should have tabbed these. 5 is a floor plan for 2 Wildrose. 6 is a commercial lease submitted by the applicant. 7 are colored photographs showing the property was posted as required. 8 is the neighbor and applicant notification letter sent from Falls Township dated November 25th, 2025. 9 is proof of publication in the Bucks County Courier-Times showing this matter was published November 25th and then again December 2nd. That is all the board exhibits. I'm satisfied the appropriate notice have been satisfied and this matter can proceed.
May begin, Ms. Booker.
Well, my name is Shari Booker Holly. I have been doing this for 17 years. I started out with IDD in New Jersey and kind of made my way to PA. So, as you guys can see, my mission is to help the youth, whether they are IDD or at-risk youth. We serve children from the ages of 9 to 18. We do co-ed. It is 24-hour supervision. It is an awake shift. We make sure that those kids are safe during the time that they are there. We do interviews for all of our youth. They also meet with our in-house therapists. We have a case manager and a director and a team of youth workers that are there 24 hours a day. It's 1 to 8 as a ratio, but we provide the ratio of from 2 to 8, sometimes 3, depending on the level of supervision that is needed for the kids. Our program is very, very structured, as you guys can see inside of the program description. Our day-to-day kind of looks very similar to what a normal kid would want in life. Myself and my husband started this company because we seen a change. My husband came up in the system, and we knew that we needed to do something. So we decided to have a group home. And we've been running for a while, for maybe our actual own group home for over maybe 2 years. So we just was looking to expand. The ratio overnight is still 2. Staff will, like I said, will be awake on duty 24/7. Staff are all trained by the 3800 regulations, CPR and first aid certified. Staff will have clearances for all positions that are hired for. Along with the building, fire, and safety, I know that was an issue. We did agree to put in a $4,800 system to be interconnected to the property, because I know that was not there. So we did agree to put that in. Our medication is all stored, it's supervised. We do have a nurse as well. There will be only 2 vehicles for the residents. We have 6 parking spaces. Again, that's enough spaces for our staff at that location, where we are not, being a nuisance or to the area of the community. We just want these kids to be able to be acclimated just like the rest of everybody else, and just give them a chance at life. And that's the reason why we started this program. So I know, it's really, it looks, it can be tough, and I have to be very transparent, but we've been doing it for a long time, and I was just hoping that we can bring this to the community, and I was just hoping that you guys give us a chance.
Thank you, Ms. Booker. Any questions from the board at this time?
I do. As I'm going through your hardship here, I mean, I see that you're saying the hardship is the property was previously received a commercial certificate of occupancy for behavioral or health. I want to get that corrected. That was approved for drug and alcohol, which by state law, we could not deny them. Also in here, you're stating that, it can't be used as a home. That addition to that home was built as a home, and then it was bought 2 other times for drug and alcohol by 2 different owners. And I don't believe, I appreciate your program and what you're doing for youth, but I don't think it belongs in a neighborhood. I mean, just from the past experience of the way that home was used with the ODs there and all kinds of stuff going on, I don't think it's appropriate for a neighborhood, and it's not fair to the residents of this neighborhood. That's all I have for right now.
I have a question for Bill. So you're saying the 2 previous owners used this house for people that were battling addiction?
Well, what happened, it did come to zoning hearing, and by state law, we cannot deny drug and alcohol to be put in a neighborhood in the home, so it had to pass. I mean, I didn't believe at that time it belonged there. I don't think it belongs in a residential area. Living through it for the last several years, with people ODing on the front porch, with them hiding the drugs in yards and their alcohol in yards, and then coming in and out all night long. I mean, it's just not a good fit. But like I said, the township hands were tied at the time because that's the way it is. And I don't think we should go back in that direction.
So, Mrs. Booker, may I ask you a question? What
Yes.
you're proposing is a group home for children.
For children, yes.
Can you tell me a little bit more about these children? Where are they coming from?
They're coming from I'm sorry. They're coming from like different county agencies. Everybody is not an at-risk youth, right? So they don't have to be coming like out of a mental hospital. Some kids just don't have stable parenting. Right now, we have a group home of 5. We have 3 kids there that parents cannot care for them at all. I've been a foster parent for about 7.5 years. I adopted my niece and my nephew over 7.5 years ago. I call them my niece and my nephew. They are not blood related. I've been doing this for a very long time just for that reason. Some kids just don't have it.
I'd love to also, so you already touched on this, I'd love to hear more about the other group homes that, you said you're expanding, so that sounds like you already have at least one other group home that you're running.
Yes, sir.
How many are there? Where are they? Are they also in neighborhood residential zones or not?
Yes, of course, we had to do the same thing. The homes that I ran for 17 years was with IDD, that was in New Jersey. We just started out in PA 2 years ago. We were just looking because it's just so we get so many referrals, you know, for these kiddos. And I just feel like they just deserve the same quality of life that every child has.
So again, about the children that you're serving with these programs, I know it can change, it depends, but how long is a child in one of these particular homes? Is it just a couple nights because they just need a place to stay for a couple nights? Or is it years and years and years, everywhere in between? Like what, yeah.
It very much depends. It depends on the situation, right? It depends if mom and dad parental rights have been taken, or if mom and dad parental rights have been taken for 3 months. They might have to go through drug and alcohol to get the kids back. And then they would just go to court and get their kids back.
The parents, not the child.
The child, yeah. And it's a drug-free program. It's no tolerance. They are checked upon school, coming back from school, when they're leaving out, the staff are with them when they're in the community, and all of that. So, you know, it just depends on the situation. Every situation is just very different.
So 8 to 12 kids every day of a variety of ages. Are they going to school? I mean, obviously in the summer they're not, but like what is the sort of transportation and other kind of logistics around, like if I'm trying to imagine being a neighbor, what am I seeing happening in the house across the street?
So again, we try to get them into different activities in the community. We don't just like send 12 kids. You're not going to see 12 kids just running outside, right? We put them in, we have mentorships that we go to. We have memberships at YMCAs. We try to become very familiar with activities that go on in our community. So kids running in and out all day, that won't happen. Coming home from school, okay. You know, it's a very, very structured program. So us just sitting outside and hanging outside, or staff sitting outside, or it's not going to happen. We don't allow it.
So my last question is, I'm assume these kids, you know, as you say, they have parents, they have family, they have other adults that are associated with them. Yes, they're finding temporary housing in these group homes. Yeah. Are they getting visited by other adults and other family members? Are there other people besides the kids that are hanging out, loitering, for lack of a better word?
Can I be very transparent? The last time
I
I've
hope
seen
so. Thank you.
Parent was 4 months ago. It's really that bad. Like, you know, they're far, so they won't come 2 hours or 3 hours. These kids are coming from, you know, different counties. So they, you know, we're not placed inside of their county. We're not like we don't have a contract with Philadelphia County where we're a skip, hop, and a jump. So them coming down to see their child every Saturday for a visit is not likely. Now, what we do is we do set up Zooms, and they can visit with their family that way. We will take them to their agency and have them visit with their family that way, even if we have to meet them in between.
Great. Thank you very much.
Any other questions from the board? Anything from the township?
I have a few questions, yes. Ms. Booker, why did you choose this property?
I chose this property because of the space. I thought automatically when I seen it, I'm like, oh, this is definitely zoned for group living. And then when I found out that it was, you know, it was a group of individuals living there, but it was obviously a different population.
Is the you said you knew of the group of individuals that were living there when you?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I could just tell by the way it was. When I went to go visit, I could see that the way it had so many beds in there, you can really see that it's not really a family living like that. You know what I mean? They had like 2 refrigerators and things like that. So.
And you answered, Mr. McKay, a bit about how you get these residents. The residents are referred to you by, what are some of the agencies that refer you residents?
Office of Youth, it's called OYCF, Office Youth, Children and Families. That's who we get contracted with.
Okay.
That's our funding source as well.
Are any of your residents mentally or physically handicapped?
No,
Do any of your residents qualify as under any of the protected classes under the Civil Rights Act of 1968 related to mentally or physically handicapped status?
well, obviously, we can't discriminate, so I know I have serviced a handicapped individual before, but right at this present moment, we don't have any handicap.
So the purpose of your residential facility is not to provide living quarters for individuals requiring special care related to a mental or physical handicap, then, correct? No. Okay. Do you receive compensation for the individuals who are residing in the property?
Yes,
And you provide them, do you provide them with meals?
3 meals a day, snacks. I provide them with clothing every season, every 4 months as well. All of their activities are paid through us as well.
Did you look at other locations before selecting this location?
I did.
And so what made this, why did you not select other locations?
Well, ideally, I feel like it would work. I feel like because I thought it was already like group living, I'm like, well, this should be like a piece of cake. That's the reason why. Yeah. And I like the sides. I like the area. I really do.
Did you investigate any locations that may be proper, may legally permit a group home or a rooming house that would accommodate your business model?
I have, and it's kind of hard, to be honest.
You investigated those in Falls Township?
Not in Falls Township, no, sir.
The number of residents, I believe you have a range of the number of residents that you that would be living there?
Yes, sir.
And what's that number?
Around 8 to 12.
8 to 12.
Yeah.
What's the basis for that number?
We go by square footage. Every kid gets a certain amount of square footage. My husband would have the square footage best because I don't have it.
Could you operate with 10 individuals in residence?
Yes.
Could you operate with 6?
Yes. But the thing is that because of the amount that we're being charged, you have to make it has to make like kind of sense, right? Because of the overhead.
Could you operate with 5?
I'm operating with 5 now. Yes, sir.
And the only consideration about the number of residents is an economic consideration?
Yeah, the overhead would be kind of pricey for that particular location with only 5 individuals.
So you're saying there's no therapeutic or treatment reasons to justify exceeding, to having more residents on the property?
Can you say that again?
The basis for the number of residents that you're requesting is solely economic?
Yes.
Okay. There's no treatment reason that you need so many individuals residing on the property?
No.
And do you provide any treatment in any way?
We do. We have an on-site therapist.
On-site therapist?
Yeah.
No medical treatment?
No, only meds. We get
Only
meds. Yes.
No physical therapy or?
No.
Okay. I just want to confirm, you did state that there is no set time that the residents remain in the facility?
No, because it all depends on the courts.
Is everyone who resides there court-ordered?
Yes.
In the materials you provided to the board, you said that the property would be otherwise underutilized. Is that correct?
Yes.
But could it be used as a home, a single-family home, other than the size of it?
I mean, it could. Ideally, yes.
I have no further questions for the applicant, but I would, reserve time to address the board as well.
Matt, the group home process in Falls Township, do you guys go out and measure for occupancy and give them a number of occupants that live in the house?
We would confirm number of rooms and do a follow-up inspection, make sure there's the same number of occupants that we would confer a number of rooms and then follow up to make sure that the number of occupants matches what they had originally applied for. This would also have to go through the building permit review because of the number of people, it would qualify as an R4. So there's going to be different construction requirements than a single-family dwelling.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions from the board?
I just had a quick.
I have another question.
Go ahead, Bill. Yep, go ahead, Bill.
Are you for-profit or non-profit?
For profit.
You're for-profit?
Yes.
So basically you're running a business out of there, is that correct?
Correct.
All right, and then if you don't have enough children, you can't afford to lease the places. That's why it's up to 8 to 12 or what your number is?
Right. That is correct. Sorry.
What, when these children come here, what school district would they go to? The
Well-
local Pennsbury?
It would definitely depend on if they have an IEP. We kind of deal with the school districts. It would just depend on if they have an IEP. So we would have to ultimately look into that to see what school they will go to.
So that's just added cost. All right, I'll just leave that be. That's all I have for right now.
Yeah, I just wanted to follow up on the same, just to be transparent. I think you've already said it. It is a commercial operation, potentially for profit.
Yes, sir.
Many of our social institutions, including our prison systems, are for profit. So I personally have no issue with that. But I do want to understand, again, the sort of, as Bill and others have asked, the hardship, right? So you wish to provide this service. It's a valuable service. It's obviously a needed service.
Yeah.
There is a compensation, remuneration for the service that you provide, but you need to find a place to do it.
Yes, sir.
And the lawyer asked if you looked other places where it's sort of more legally viable. I think the main opposition that you're going to hear is that this is a literally non-commercial residential. It's right there in the name of the zone. It's non-commercial, and so because it's a commercial operation, I guess what we're all going to sort of struggle with is to understand how to kind of let this go as a use variance, right? Because that's just what you're asking for. You're essentially saying, yep, I want to run a business in a non-commercial zone, independent of what the business is. And I think many of us, myself included, can be very sympathetic to the mission and to the cause.
Yeah.
And I don't want to put kids in a group home in some downtown industrial district just because that's where I can put a commercial business.
Yeah.
So, I definitely understand that we want to put kids in something that feels like a home.
Exactly.
And a home is something that feels like something that's residential.
Yes, sir.
So,
And that's exactly what our home looks like. If you see it, it's beautiful. Like it looks like a regular home. They feel at home. They have video games, just like everybody else. It's beautiful. And our plan for the home, I don't plan to be a nuisance. I don't intend for things to be a nuisance. The home size just works for our mission. and we don't plan to be a nuisance to the community. And I know that a lot of townships struggle with that, right? Because ultimately we are in a residential area. That's why we were looking for something single family, right? And just so that they can be kids and just have the same quality of life, and they're not in these big institutions that they've already been in for whatever amount of time. We want to get them acclimated, but we want to get them ready for when they turn 18. Some of our kids will stay with us till they're 21. We plan on starting an independent living for the people that they just don't go home. It's not like that, where they can just go, at 18, you just kick them out. Like, they still need those resources, and I think that they should be available. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any public comment at this time? Please just state your name when you come up. Thank you.
Hi, Danielle Thompson.
Can you spell your name, please?
Of course, Thompson.
And your first name is?
Danielle, Dinelle. Hi, everybody. I live in Willowwood. I'm one of those concerned neighbors. I've lived there since the recovery home was in our section. I live on the corner of Willow Drive and Willow Pass. I was the home that the recovery home was people were being left out on the corner of my property, walking, laying in my front yard. Nobody's paying attention, receiving Narcan above and beyond, calling 911. Then we had somebody trying to let themselves in our house. All that being set aside, within 6 houses around this house, and I have a home that's comparable in square footage that 4 people reside in, there are 24 other children that live in that neighborhood that need some type of stability, just like they do. With that being said, I do not feel that we need a commercial property in a residential neighborhood. Besides the fact that we have a convicted sex offender 3 doors down from that property, where they will have children in a property with no parents watching what's going on.
I'm sorry.
In case you weren't aware.
I think what you're saying is really important. Can you please repeat that one more time, really slowly and clearly? There is a convicted sex
absolutely.
offender from that property that still lives at the property?
No. There is a
So that's
convicted
why I was
sex offender
confused.
on the drive that is approximately 50 feet from that home.
Okay, but not associated with that property?
No.
Okay, so just is
Not
in the
associated.
neighborhood?
Right.
So that's a concern.
And that is a huge concern.
Any property, potential property purchaser would want to know that and
Absolutely.
be interested in that information. Okay.
Absolutely, but you're sticking 12 children in a home where there's a sex offender down the street.
And
I
let me
have
just
2
ask,
children in my home with 2 adults.
I think, Bill raised this too, and it's, it sounds like the history of this place has been terrible for the neighborhood.
The place has been
This
horrific for the
sounds like an
neighborhood.
improvement.
Can we move on from the sex offender comment,
Yes,
please?
absolutely.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. The house has been horrific for the neighborhood. We're not a commercial neighborhood. We're residential. I understand these kids need a place to live, and I understand that they have a hard upbringing. It just doesn't belong in a residential neighborhood.
Thank you.
Personally, we don't want to deal with it. That's all. Thank you.
Understood. Thank you. Anyone else for public comment?
Sure, Bill. Susan Kiernan, Kiernan. I'm a 59-year resident of
Can you,
Willowwood.
the last, spell your name again?
Susan, Kiernan.
Okay, thank you.
I am a 59-year resident of the Willowwood section of Falls, and have lived across the street from this property, as well as currently living next door to it. Now, as Danielle had stated, this is, within a 6-home radius of this, there are 24 minor children, most of them under 10 years old. This is a proposed group home for 8 to 12, 9 to 18-year-old residents. Allowing this business to operate would negatively impact the quality of life for the hardworking families who reside in this residential neighborhood. The children of this proposed business, as described by the applicant and in the packet, face challenges in home school life due to behavioral mental health issues caused by life disruptions and psychiatric hospitalizations or juvenile detentions. It's 1 to 8 staff ratio. If you stand out in our front yard, you can see all the homes adjacent to this. Like I said, most of the children are small. Moms and dads out teaching kids to ride their bikes. There's 2 swimming pools across the street. The one family has a lot of birthday parties and things like that. How are these kids sitting there seeing that? Isn't it just going to make them angrier, seeing all these things that they're missing out on? I truly sympathize with these kids. As I was growing up, my parents are foster parents, so I truly sympathize with what these kids are going through. But I don't think this is the location for them. Additionally, these 8 to 12 children will be attending Pennsbury schools. While the property is owned by a New York resident who pays single property taxes, leaving the burden of transportation and education on the residents of Falls Township. Also, keeping in mind, as she has stated, many kids have IPPs and behavioral issues, which will likely mean that they're going to need additional support in school, which is an additional burden on the Falls Township taxpayers. Stated this was an NCR property used as a recovery house for 6 years. This property was turned into a recovery home because the house was foreclosed on. It was bought by a gentleman who ran a recovery house in there for 5 years and then was sold again to another recovery group. And for the past 6 years, we have endured an absolute nightmare. Because of state regulations, we've called every agency. Cars and homes were broken into, loud profane language at all hours of the night, public urination in our yards, hiding of drugs and alcohol in our yards, people sneaking out windows and jumping out windows in the back of the property at all hours of the night, numerous overdoses, 9 actual deaths at that property. This property was purchased in June of 2025 by 2 Wildrose Lane LLC. This address is listed, if you look up the gentleman who owns it, as 1642 3rd Street in Brooklyn, New York. If you Google that address, it's actually a rundown garage in an alleyway in New York and Brooklyn. There are numerous other business listings at that address. In June this year, this property was listed for rent, as she probably had found it there, as rental for $6,500 a year to be used as a sober house, MTM boarding house, available for immediate occupancy with 16 beds. I called the township and said, wait a minute, this is not zoned for this. And basically, I guess, I'm not quite sure how it was, and I also tried leaving messages for the gentleman who owned it. The ads were taken down, whether or not it was because it was rented or he got the hint. Obviously, the person who owns this property didn't even care to check our zoning ordinances and just put this out there at $6,500 a month so he can make a quick buck at her expense. We urge you not to approve this variance. It will have a direct impact on the residents of the neighborhood as well as a financial burden on the taxpayers of Pennsbury School District. Thank you for your time.
Can I just come up? Sorry.
Just state your name and spell it, please.
Jennifer Metzger, Metzger.
Thanks.
I'm a Falls Township resident. I live across from Pennsbury High on Hood Boulevard. We have a property in Elderberry for my mother, so we live close to Willowwood. I would like to say thank you for you guys considering a group home for kids. We desperately need that in this area. However, I have a couple of concerns. We need it in this area for our Bucks County kids. We have kids in Pennsbury School District now that are homeless or unhoused, I guess is the appropriate term. BCIU is helping with those students. There are people that work directly with Pennsbury, for Pennsbury, that help with it, they would be the students we'd really be asking for, because Pennsbury would be potentially charging for non-resident students living in the district attending the school. And although the real estate taxes help cover, it doesn't cover non-residents. And it sounds like these kids would be coming and going, but under the McKinley-Vento Act, we do have to educate them. So we would want to make sure that we're doing the best by these students. And to understand, BCIU at this point is following the LRE, right? They're keeping any disabled or disruptive students in the school, trying to do the best by them, so least restrictive environment. So that would be our costs, whether the child has an IEP or not, we would be responsible for them. I have questions, though, also on if there's going to be fencing added to the property to try to help with the kids being able to go outside. I don't know how you're going to restrict 8 to 12 kids from 9 to 18 years old from commingling with the other 24 kids in the neighborhood. If anything, that would be a reason why this would be a great property, personally. I don't know how you can tell somebody to not talk about a sex offender. I mean, if they're nervous, they're nervous. You got to let a neighbor mention it, because if you're bringing 12 kids here, I would think that would be a thing. Obviously, it's public information, too. And then my next question, this is parking. You're saying that there's 6 spaces. I have an oversized driveway, too. A lot of us do. Sure, you could fit 6 people, but if you're going to have people from 9 to 18 years old, any driving age person in that home is required to have a parking space over 5 people. So my understanding, if I read the ordinances correctly, and this years ago, so it might be even more now, but with more than 5 people, you have to have 2 spaces. With every staff person, you're going to have to have a certain amount of spaces. So you're saying there's at least 2 a day, plus there's an on-site therapist. I didn't catch if you're going to be living here in the property, or if there's going to be house parents that live, or if it's just 2 people switching off 24/7, and if the on-site therapist is live-in or not. And then if you've got 12, 18-year-olds at one time, then you're talking about 20 spaces. So is that backyard going to be used to add a second driveway? Like, we're here for zoning, right? So obviously it makes sense if we pull the zoning that's currently there, that your board member mentioned, and reevaluate. But there's also a lot of issues if we're going to have that many people in one home. So, thank you.
Can you come back, Mrs. Booker, can you come back? So it's a reasonable question to ask about parking. Can you, I mean, again, it is possible 8 to 12 people, and if the age range is 9 to 18, it's possible that you could have 12, 18-year-olds. Is it really possible you're going to have 12, 18-year-olds that all have cars? Given that
Absolutely
they're in a
not.
group home?
No.
Okay.
I've never seen it.
So yes,
So I'm
technically on paper it's possible, but give us an, because you've run other homes, what is the parking situation like?
I have never seen.
Staff, people
Oh.
that work there, et cetera, and then do any of the kids actually come with cars?
No kids come with cars. We do have, like I said, it is two staff on a shift at all times. And to speak to her point about the Bucks County kids, I actually have a meeting with them January 12th where they're coming out to visit my site so that I can get contracted with your community, okay? Because I know that there is a need. They are constantly sending me referrals, but I have nowhere to put them. So I have that on-site meeting. That's a good idea about the fence. I will propose, we'll get a fence. I think that that's a great idea. But like I said, about the cars and the situations like that, it's 2 staff on a shift. They're switching off. Our therapist is there once a week unless she needs to be on call. Our case manager is not there. Everybody is not there at the same time. So it's not going to look oversaturated or overpopulated. We don't have one of those big vans, turtle top vans. It looks just as normal. We have a Telluride Kia 2021 vehicle, and that's what we've utilized. And our next van will be the same. So it won't be like the big turtle top van or anything like that.
So other residents brought up this question about there's other kids in the neighborhood. In fact, there may be a lot of kids in the neighborhood, and I think Mrs. Metzer made a really good point that that could actually be a benefit to these kids, that there might be a chance for them to have a more, for lack of a word, normal life interacting with those kids. Can you tell me about your other homes that you have, and what does that look like? Do they intermingle? Is there back and forth with the neighborhood? Are the kids?
They play outside just like everybody else. Everybody does not deserve to live in an institution, you know, and that's where most of the kids kind of are going back to, right? Because everybody don't want us in a residential area. They want us to be institutionalized. Well, when they get 21, they're coming out of that institution. They still need to be able to survive in society. So that's what we're trying to prepare them for. Their life skills are done there. You know, them intermingling with other residents. If they gain a friend, cool. They're going to be around these children in school, right? So they may gain a friend, and I think that everybody needs that. We all have it. They're no different than anybody else.
One more question. So the older kids, speaking of driving, that made me think about, are any of them working? Do they get part-time jobs, after-school jobs?
If they choose, we don't have that right now. Again, it's about stability. We have to make sure that you are absolutely ready to work out there and get into a job and all of that. So it's about getting stable. We have the way our process works. If they decide that they want to work on that, we take very, very small steps with getting them there, with mock interviews and you know, things like that to get them if that's what they want to do. Yeah. But I've never seen no one in care have a car. I haven't seen it. Now, you may see it in independent living facilities because they're more independent, where they don't need 24-hour supervision. Staff are there 24 hours a day. This is a wake shift. No one is asleep.
Right. So if they do happen to have a job, they're getting there by themselves, either on a bike or public transport or something else.
Or staff can take them.
Or staff.
Our staff will drive them. We don't really let the kids go anywhere by themselves. Staff are always with them. If they want to walk around the block, staff are with them. They're not just walking around the community. It's not like that. We have to keep them in our range at all times.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Is that it with public comment?
Public comment.
What was that, Bill?
I'm having a hard time, and I can appreciate the service that you're providing, but under the hardship, there's nothing in this hardship where you're aiming the hardship towards the children, and I agree that is a hardship, but the hardship has to be turned that the zoning ordinance is for the property. I don't think there's anything in this hardship that property, I mean, can be used as a home. So you're not really asking, there's no hardship here on that property. There's a hardship on your for-profit business, yes, but not on that property, and I'm just having a hard time with this.
Well, to answer your question, if we're being very transparent, I kind of explained earlier that we get a ton of referrals. We have nowhere to put all these different children. So it's a little bit easier if everybody is in one space, right? That building was sectioned off where the girls could be on one floor and the boys can be on one floor. So because we're getting all these referrals, it'll just make it easier if we were all together.
No, I understand that, but when you're requesting a hardship for, you know, to get this through, you haven't shown a hardship that property, you know, it can't be used for what it's for. It can be used as a family home. And now we're trying to put a commercial property in there where there is no really hardship of that property not to be used what it's you know, built for and zoned for. That's where I'm at.
Understood.
When it was the recovery place the last 2 times, was it a family home?
It was originally a family home. The family built the second floor on, and they had financial issues, and then it was bought by an individual that turned it into a recovery home. And he sold it to another individual for a recovery home. And as I stated before, that by state law, you can't deny them for that, for a recovery home that falls under Disability Act. So that's the only reason it probably got approved for a recovery home, because we could not disapprove it.
All right, thank you, Bill. At this time, the zoning hearing board's going to take an executive session.
Can the township offer some argument before you recess into executive session?
Of course. Yeah.
Okay. So I'd like, before the board considers this matter, I'd like to offer that the applicant has not proven a hardship under the MPC. They have not given any support to any of the five-part test. There is nothing unique about this home that the physical characteristics of this property that make it more suitable or only suitable for the use that's proposed. By the applicant's own testimony, they stated that this could be used as a single-family dwelling, as it is permitted to be, not a particular institutional facility, and the only justification they gave that the home would be underutilized, which is an economic consideration that is inapplicable here. This hardship is created by the applicant. By bringing this use forward, there is nothing here that indicates otherwise, and in particular, by the applicant's own testimony, they indicated they did not look anywhere else to place this group home within Falls Township. They did not review where this would be permitted. This is doing this backwards. They selected the property and are trying to put it here when it's not permitted, and there is no hardship to do this. I think there was ample commentary from the neighborhood residents who appeared tonight to defend that this would potentially alter the character of the neighborhood, and that this type of facility would have an impact on the adjacent properties. And most importantly, by the applicant's own testimony, this is not the minimum relief necessary. Under the law, a facility can operate with 5 or fewer, and our code, 5 or fewer people living communally as a housekeeping unit. We're looking at 8 to 12 here. That far exceeds that allowance under our code. We're not talking 6, we're not talking 7, and the only justification the applicant gave is an economic one. There is nothing here that justifies this increased density within a home of unrelated persons living together in a household unit. What is, I think, most important here in what the board should consider in making their decision is that what the applicant is proposing is not a group home. On the face of their application itself, there wasn't enough information to make that determination, not in the letter of intent that was provided to the township at initial blush before it got to the zoning hearing board, or in the application that was submitted to the zoning hearing board in support of their request. But the Falls Township Code is very specific as to what a group home is, and that is supported by the applicable law. And if you'll indulge me for just a second, because I think it's important to have this on the record, is that a group home is defined in the Falls Township Code as a residential facility used as living quarters by any number of unrelated persons requiring special care, slow down for Karen, and any attendant adult supervisors, specifically designed to create a non-transient residential setting for the mentally and physically handicapped. Any number of handicapped persons, as that term is defined in Title 8 of the Civil Rights Act of 1968, as amended by the Fair Housing Amendments Act of 1988, have the right to occupy a dwelling unit in the same manner and to the same extent as any family unit subject to the Mental Health Procedures Act and the citation, and shall be eligible for such facility. There was some commentary tonight about the previous sober living house that existed here. I will be honest with the board, I was unaware of the existence of that house coming into this hearing this evening. However, it is irrelevant. Under the applicable federal and state law, someone who is dealing with addiction or living with addiction is considered a disability under those applicable acts that are mentioned in the ordinance definition. The Civil Rights Act and the Fair Housing Act both provide protections to those living with addiction, and that provide that they are able to live as a housekeeping unit in a residential area. That is not the same that is not applicable to court-assigned living arrangements in a group setting. Just because it is in a group setting does not make it a group home. Therefore, the relief that is being requested of this board this evening is not even the proper relief. Absent that no hardship has been proven to allow this applicant to locate another facility that's not a permitted use in the NCR district, what they're proposing is not what they're calling it. And therefore, the township would ask that this application be denied. So thank you.
Can I add one thing? I'm sorry. When you said, maybe I misconstrued your question, because when we talk about physical disability, in my program description, it states that we can't discriminate against anybody with a physical disability. Actually, to your point, our first kid that we had March of last year could not walk. She had a physical disability. We took her until she got adopted. So we're not even able to turn those kids away if they have any type of physical disabilities at all.
Yeah, this isn't a discrimination issue. This is an issue of the purpose of the home is to not provide treatment, care, or a group living arrangement for people who cannot live by themselves, suffering from a mental or physical handicap. So that's the distinction here.
Okay, thank you. We're going to take a brief
Mr. Chairman, the record reflect, we're back on the record. Just so the record is abundantly clear, the board took an executive session. They requested some clarification on the application and also the law, specifically on group homes, and that was the basis of the executive session. Thank you.
All right, so with that being said, I would need a motion for or against this project.
Before I make a motion, I would like to know, would you agree to a limit of 10 residents, not 12?
Yes, ma'am. Do I need to come up? I'm sorry. I didn't know I was allowed to look up. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll make a motion. I move that the application of Shari Booker requesting a use variance from section 209-20.b of the Falls Township zoning ordinance be granted to allow a group home serving 8 to 10 children, ages 9 to 18, at the property located at 2 Wildrose Lane, Levittown, PA 19054, as depicted on the plans and in accordance with the testimony presented to the zoning hearing board.
I have a motion from Nastasia. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Aaron. Nastasia, can you call the board?
Aaron?
Yes.
Bob?
Still have to call Bill.
Oh, Bill?
I'm going to have to abstain.
Bob?
I'm a yes.
Chris?
Yes.
And I'm a yes.
Thank you.
You'll get a letter from my law firm in about 30 to 40 days in regards to the decision tonight.
Thank you so much. Bye, Diane.
That being said, that puts agenda at rest. I'd like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and I would just need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
So moved. Have a good night.
Aye.
See you guys.